You know, when you hear the term AI, your mind probably jumps straight to the movies, right? But the real story of artificial intelligence is a journey, one with three very distinct chapters. It takes us from the tools we literally use every single day to ideas that sound like pure science fiction.
I mean, we all know the ultimate AI fantasy, don't we? JRVS from Iron Man. He's not just a program, he's a co-pilot, a real partner. This idea of a human and a machine working together so perfectly that they need each other, well, that's the gold standard that really captures our imagination. And that brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? We see these amazing AIs on the big screen all the time. But what's the real story? How big is the gap between the AI in our phones and the AI in the movies? Let's break it down, starting with where we are right now. Okay, so the AI of today, the AI we're all living with, is what we call the specialist. It's incredibly powerful for sure, but only inside very specific, very narrow lanes. This is the first stage, and honestly, it's the only one we've really figured out so far. And this specialist AI is woven into our lives so deeply, we barely even notice it anymore. Think about it. It's the voice of Siri or Alexa. It's the Netflix algorithm that knows exactly what you want to binge watch next. It's your email spam filter. It's image recognition. It's even helping doctors map out diseases. It's everywhere.
So, the technical name for all this is artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI for short. You'll also hear it called weak AI, but don't let the name fool you. It's not weak because it's not powerful. It's called that because its intelligence is, well, narrow. It's trained to do one specific job, and that's it. It has no real awareness outside of that one task.
And even within this narrow AI, there are kind of two flavors. On one hand, you have reactive machines. Think of IBM's Deep Blue, the chess computer. It has zero memory. It just looks at the board right now and makes a move. That's it. Then you have limited memory machines, like self-driving cars. They use recent data, like the car in front of them just slowed down, to make decisions. But they aren't building a deep library of experience like a human driver would over years. Okay, so that's the here and now. But beyond the specialist is the next great ambition, the next frontier. And this is where we try to make the huge leap from just doing a task to actually thinking. This brings us to artificial general intelligence, or AGI. People also call this strong AI. This is the big quest, the search for a machine that can learn, reason, and understand with all the flexibility of a human brain. We're moving beyond just faking it to actually trying to replicate real thinking. So, what would it actually take to be called AGI? Well, it's a whole bunch of things that we humans take for granted. It needs to have common sense, that giant, unwritten rulebook about how the world works. It needs to make its own decisions. But the real game changer is something called transfer learning. That's taking what you learned from one thing, like playing a strategy game, and applying that same logic to something totally different, like running a business. That kind of flexibility is the massive hurdle between the AI we have and the AI we want. And it's not just about what's going on in its mind. A real AGI would also have to be able to perceive and interact with the world, process what it sees and hears, and then act on that information, either in the real world or a virtual one. But the journey doesn't just stop at matching human intelligence. The third and final stage is, for now, purely theoretical. And this is where things get really fascinating, and maybe a little scary. This is artificial superintelligence. Alan Turing famously said a machine is intelligent if it can trick you into thinking it's human. But what happens when a machine isn't just trying to match our intelligence, but to blow right past it? This table lays out the whole journey perfectly. You see on the left, you have ANI, the tool that does one thing and has no real self-awareness. In the middle, you have the goal, AGI, a machine with human-like general intelligence. And then all the way on the right, you have the theoretical endgame, ASI, or artificial superintelligence, an intellect that soars past our own and could even have beliefs of its own. And if that sounds familiar, it's because it's the stuff of classic sci-fi. We're talking about Skynet from the Terminator movies, HAL 9000, Vicky from iRobot. These stories are all tapping into our collective fascination and, let's be honest, our fear of creating an intelligence that could dwarf our own. So it's really crucial to get this. While it sounds like a logical progression, narrow to general to super, the path is anything but a straight line. There are huge, fundamental barriers in the way. But those challenges are not stopping the money from pouring in. Just look at this chart. The investment in generative AI, which is a huge piece of this puzzle, jumped from $3 billion in 2022 to over $25 billion in 2023. That's more than an eightfold increase in 1 year. The ambition and the cash are definitely there. But here's a serious reality check. Building this future isn't just a coding problem. Not even close. This chart shows that the algorithms themselves, that's only about 10% of the effort. The vast majority, a full 70%, is about business and people. It's about changing jobs, retraining entire workforces, and completely rethinking how we do things. That's the real heavy lifting. And the hurdles on this path are immense. We're talking about not even having enough raw computing power yet, the mind-bending complexity of the algorithms, and huge ethical questions. The big one is the alignment problem. How do you make sure an AGI's goals stay aligned with humanity's goals? And that's before you even get to the impact on jobs or the massive need for new laws and regulations.
So why does knowing these 3 stages matter? Because this whole journey isn't just a technical challenge. It forces all of us to ask some really fundamental questions about intelligence, about consciousness, and about our own future as a species.
So as we continue to build these more and more capable machines, we have to remember we're not just creating better tools. We are designing our future partners, and maybe, just maybe, our successors. The ultimate question here isn't just about what AI can do, but about what choices we will make about how humanity interacts with it. And that's a choice we are all making together, one line of code at a time.